All right, everybody, we are back here for our third and fourth place match today. It is a best of three against LocoJordo. We're looking at NotNamedUser from David City and Tortlemaster from Louisville. So we have NotNamedUser, who is Stanley Allen. He is, of course, from David City, and he is a freshman on that squad. His first appearance here in the state championship. He was 5-4 in the regular season. Sitting at 11-1 is Tortlemaster Terry Dillard. He is that sophomore we were talking about, so we got kind of a battle of the lower classmen here as we get things started off. So we are on Glittering Ashes, and we have, of course, down here in the lower left, we'll have Tortlemaster getting things started off. He is going to be playing Protoss. Up here in the upper right-hand corner, we're going to have NotNamedUser. And thank goodness we're going to finally see Terran versus Protoss set up. And boy, oh boy, are we excited to see it happen. So, get to talk a little bit. In the previous one, it was Protoss, so it was kind of a standard setup. You just sort of throw some giant Protoss ball at each other, and whoever has the most zealots and gets them encircled wins. But in the bigger scheme of things, we now have a little bit of something else to add to our equation. You do have the Terran, who are really good at walling off as they can, put their supply depots down into the ground and allow units to walk over it. So he can have a pretty good options when it comes down to where he can wall off. He'll wall off here, keeping his natural safe, and he'll probably throw in another couple of barracks on either side of, or throw in a couple more supply depots on either side of those barracks. That's going down. So coming out, we'll have the barracks going down immediately. We also got that gateway also going down. A little bit of an advantage that you're going to see on the Protoss side is he's going to be able to keep running units back and forth on his mineral fields as he is building up his base around him. So he should have a slightly higher count. However, when it comes down to units, we are going to see these siege tanks coming in on the side of NotNamedUser, and those are going to be very effective against any grouped up units that Tortlemaster can throw out. So Tortlemaster is going to have to make sure to keep things spread out a little bit and stay safe. Immediately going to his first expansion, and that'll be up here quite shortly. Also got an expansion down in the bot side for Tortlemaster. Second rack's going to go down, and he's going to be building a reactor off the first one, as he is also sending out a scout initially to kind of get things checked out. So with the barracks going down, we do have the main base going down. We have a very early Stargate, which I think he threw down that Stargate before, but I think this is a little bit earlier than what he had done it last time. So curious to see if he's going to go more air units. He does have really good gas coming in, a little bit over double what's coming in on the opposing side for NotNamedUser. We'll see if he takes advantage of the air in this one, if he will go anything to kind of help out against those tanks, the siege tanks that are inevitably going to come out of NotNamedUser. Marines already coming through, and we are going to see the first factory going down over here on this side. We do have the cybernetics core down. We're going to see, oh, I see another pylon or two. And at some point, we'll see that robotics bay. I think he opted to go the Stargate early. Fleet beacon. Ooh. Ho, ho, ho. We're not just going to see anything coming out of the Stargate. We're going to see battle cruisers coming out of that bad boy. That is interesting play. Or carriers. Carriers, they're called for the Protoss. Apologize. But we're going to see carriers coming in, which would be something quite different here in this setup, especially since we're probably going to see a lot of Marines over here We are now seeing the factory going down. He's going to prepare those tanks to come through. A starport will also come through, more likely for those medevacs, but we also could see a carrier, or could see the battle ships coming through on that side as well. So with the fleet beacon done, we are going to see initially it's just going to be a mothership coming out. On the backside here, though, a Reaper is in early, and he's actually doing a little bit to disrupt the back line and the economy of Tortlemaster. So really good play there initially. Just sending the single unit back. It doesn't even look like he has any other queued up over here. But he does take out 4 probes. That's going to be a pretty big effect, at least on this main. He'll get it back up, of course, but it's going to help things out a little bit on that side. Now we've got more units still just building up. Both sides are still building up. We have crossed that 3-minute mark, so they can start the harassing whenever they feel like it. Factory is complete with its tech lab, as he did opt to do the reactor switch with the starport. It's something quite common. We didn't see it happen in front of our screen, but it did happen over here. So with the tech lab down, we're going to see there are the medevacs coming through. And they will show up. A couple of Tempests coming in, as they will move off to the left side here. Both sides still just building up these armies. A lot of Stalkers coming through, of course. They will be pretty healthy. We have a lot of Marines sitting around here. Now, usually Marines count a little bit. They have a little bit weaker units, especially against the shielded units of the Protoss, but we'll see if they can't do the damage that they're supposed to and at least draw some fire, allowing for tanks and even this Liberator that has now come through with an opportunity. So building up a little bit on all sides now. We'll have another Liberator coming through. He's not right now sitting at around an even number of armies. He will be going for his expansion here, which is smart. He's got saturation, a little over saturation, honestly, here on this expansion. He really should have maybe gone for that sooner, as he is keeping up army-wise, so he's doing well there. Mineral-wise, they're still both about the same. NotNamedUser has now taken a lead here, and I think some of that was because of earlier things. That might have been a mistake, as he just destroyed that instead of canceling it. He built it on the wrong side, maybe? I'm not 100% sure. They just canceled that for the refund on it instead of attacking it. And we'll just wait now, as both sides are continuing to build up these armies. I don't know if we're going to see anything here. Maybe even at the 10-minute mark is when we might see our first initial fight. Out here on the front line, we're going to see some photon cannons coming through. I am kind of curious as to what sort of upgrades. We're not seeing a lot of upgrades right now. I guess we'll see an upgrade coming through here. Tectonic Destabilizer is going to be started over there. Wonder what kind of upgrades. The Marines right now don't seem to have many upgrades coming through. He's just training more and more Marines. The engineering bay is complete, but I don't see any upgrades quite yet on these guys. So we'll see if that does come through. Armory is up. Like I said, it'll be interesting to see what happens here. Now we are actually going to see his mothership coming through here in a second. The expansion now for NotNamedUser also getting started. Amassing more and more units. He's now going to have a total of 3 of these Liberators and more Marines than I can count. That is for sure. Any second now, this will be complete. And there she is. The mothership has arrived. And we are still waiting. We've got a couple more Tempest here. possibly going to come through with another one shortly. He's got a pretty good gas buildup, so he's got the opportunity to really go for more of those aerial units if he wants to. And here we are. Possibly the first move out that we have is going to be from NotNamedUser. So we'll see exactly where he takes his army here. He's got a couple different options, whether he comes up this way and maybe hits this expansion first to stop that from happening, or he could try to go through here. But Mothership is going to be making all of these units invisible. And I don't think he has anything to scout that out. No, he doesn't have any invisible detection. We'll at least see what's going on up here. Be just the edge of his vision for sure, as he now will move forward. So, NotNamedUser will be moving in. The Tempest from downtown, trying to fire in, and they are going to be doing a lot of damage. We see the initial shields go down. All of these units are not seen. They're finally going to be coming out visible. The Mothership is doing its job, making sure that everything in here stays safe. Now, Mothership does go down, but by the time it does, we're going to see NotNamedUser has now lost a ton of his, well, actually his entire army going forward. Finally, he's getting these upgrades. I think these upgrades really should have come through sooner to help him out. He has an army of 50, so he has built up another army back here, but this massive fleet and troops coming through from Tortle are going to be hard to stop. Now we will see he's going to move his units up pretty confidently here, but he's got to be careful. There is a nice army built up back behind here. If that tank can get sieged up, they can do some damage, and they just hit him hard. These Liberators can do nothing up against the Tempest. They are just going to get hammered. Finally, they are going to get some damage down, trying the best they can. A Thor is going to come into the mix, finally doing some damage as well. This front line, though, is Stalkers. It's going to start falling. There are just too many Marines. A lot of Tempest in the back. Can they do anything? The Thor goes down, and they are not going to be able to stop it. The Tempest will finish off these Marines. The tank, of course, can do nothing against that, and now they will move forward. They have not seen, of course, the expansion over here to the side, as they will move up here, try to just take out more of the infrastructure. They will going to lose a Tempest here. And Marines are cheap, so we'll see if there's an opportunity. That was a little bit unfortunate that he just sort of flew that right into it. He's going to have more Marines coming through, some Stalkers now to sort of back this up. See what else he's sending. A couple Tempests and an Immortal to come through as well. There are just too many Tempests here. Not going to be able to deal with it. No matter how many Marines he pumps out at this point, it's going to be an uphill battle against these Tempests. Now they're going to finally attack that and take it out. Now they should probably start working on the economy a little bit, trying to take out the best they can. This Thor does come through, but he just gets melted. There's no Marines to take that initial frontline damage. They had it, they might have had an opportunity, but that will be Tortlemaster going ahead and conceding the match to we'll have NotNamedUser conceding the match to Tortlemaster. So as we saw there, Tortlemaster had an opportunity after he did the initial attack, but not being able to see those invisible units really did him in. Or sorry, the other way around. I keep messing them up, but Tortlemaster had the invisible units, and so he had a huge opportunity and got the better of NotNamedUser, even though NotNamedUser had more units going into the fight, and a lot of Marines coming in there. He had some pretty good other aerial units, but in the end, he just ends up cloaking those units for long enough to get him the win in that fight, and then he moves on to NotNamedUser's base. So we'll be back just a second with the second match between Tortlemaster and NotNamedUser. All right, we are getting things fueled back up, and in we go to this third place battle that we have between Tortlemaster and NotNamedUser. So in the previous game, we had Tortlemaster able to take it as he survived the initial barrage from NotNamedUser, mostly due to a mothership that was cloaking a huge number of units, and there was nothing on the side of NotNamedUser that was able to detect those units, and so he ran in, did his best to take out the mothership early, did so, but it was just too late. It came at the expense of everything else he had built up at the time. But we'll go quickly just to reintroduce our players. We have down here in the lower right, we have NotNamedUser from David City. Stanley Allen, a freshman there, and his first appearance here at the state games. We have in the upper left-hand Tortlemaster from Louisville, Terry Dillard, a sophomore. Both of these guys are first time here to the state games, and younger players too, so a lot that they can work on, improve on, and a lot of years to do so. So very excited to kind of see if they will come back next year here with the opportunity to play for a state championship. But for now, they are playing for third place. Protoss versus Terran, and we're going to see just about the same opening we saw previously. Barracks coming in early, supply depot to help with the blockade, and minerals, let's go. Saturated on both sides, as it's going to be much of the same that we saw last time. I would suspect that, if anything, NotNamedUser should try and go for maybe a little bit more early aggression. As you can see, he is coming through with another Reaper. I think he should just kind of full in, get, maybe 4 of them at this point, and push forward with that. Hit the main, hit the secondary, the natural expansion here for Tortle, and maybe try and push that to more of an economy win up against Tortlemaster, make him a little bit more concerned about his flanks than he normally would be. Definitely needs to try to get his army up there earlier to not allow that mothership to come through. And that was something I think that Tortlemaster identified really well. He definitely went into the aerial units, and we are going to see an early Stargate once again. We saw this early Stargate in his previous match up against LocoJordo, but he didn't really do much with it, and so in a Protoss versus Protoss situation, it is also hard to sort of expect that. But he does have his both gas expansions up and running, and on his main, we will see. Thank you, Josh, for the message, but we are going to see that on the bottom right side here, NotNamedUser has set up his wall and has a second barracks down. We'll be looking for the first factory. There it is, up here in the upper left now. A couple stalkers out, and he's probably going to be going for that early fleet core. I don't see it quite yet, as it'll be coming through. Stem upgrade on the other side, but a warp gate now. Finishing up here on the side for Tortlemaster. All right, so here comes in the fleet beacon. That's exactly what we were looking for, as I think more of the same. A couple Tempests going to come out. Possibly, I would really hope another mothership comes through as well. Once again, this one Reaper, he really should have moved in by now to have an opportunity to get back here and maybe do a little bit of damage, but he has not moved in yet. And he might start moving in now. Nope, just going to move him back to the main army for now. Opportunity here. Tortlemaster, once again, is just throwing down a couple more gateways. He does not yet have the upgrade yet to make them warp gates, I don't think. Nope, he does. He did get that. I didn't see it initially, but he does have it now. Stim packs are being done over here on the side of the Marines. If you looks like they are going to be doing the good old swapperino. Throws the starport down with the reactor, and he'll be throwing down a tech lab on that factory. So now he can immediately start working on those medevacs, and he should start pumping those out now. Also, on the side here, something I'd note from NotNamedUser, really, if he's going to throw down that engineering bay, he really needs to have the option. We did see, by the way, a little invade from that Reaper, or that Reaper. He didn't get as much done this time as he did previously, only killing 2 probes. But in the previous one, he got like 4, I believe, and really disrupted the economy for a little while of Tortlemaster. But like I said, maybe a little bit more he could have done there initially. He moved in about, 4 minutes previously. We're here past the 5-minute mark now, where he now took his aggression. NotNamedUser moving in. He's got the medevacs ready to go. He's going to have his first siege tank out as well, throwing down the engineering bay and the armory. Like I said, this engineering bay really needs to take advantage, try to boost these Marines a little bit, give them some more opportunities to get out there. First Tempest going to come through, second Tempest right behind it, and we are simply just going to be waiting. The robotics facility also going to come out. Probably the next thing for Tortlemaster will be that mothership. Combat shields on these Marines coming through. And upgrades, people, upgrades. He finally is going to get that first offensive upgrade for his Marines. And we have our third expansion going down. Last time, actually, it was NotNamedUser who was able to get that expansion down first. We'll have Tortlemaster now this time, taking advantage of a little bit of a breathing room that he's got right now as we hit the 7-minute mark. Army sizes are relatively the same, and right now a little bit on the a little bit of over economy here from Tortlemaster. He'll spend a bunch of those units now, probably spending on a couple more. There we go. Mothership's going to come through, and that's going to be bad news over here on the side of NotNamedUser. He is now going to start moving out these units, but he really needs to get himself something to detect invisible units, because he will have to deal with this mothership here real soon. If he can move up quickly, he's got an opportunity, but if he is not able to move in fast enough, he is going to have to deal with the same thing he dealt with last time. It's invisible units and not enough ways to deal with it. About halfway done with that mothership as he's going to move in, so maybe opportunity. We'll see if NotNamedUser can take advantage. This is smart, pulling back by Tortlemaster. He knows that if he tries to fight this straight up right now, it's going to be not quite in his favor. As here we go, that's going to immediately be his Liberators going down. But these siege tanks are sieged up. Oh, come on, siege up that second one. Moving in, we're going to have those Marines just taking them out. As last time, they were invisible, so they had the opportunity, but this time, those Marines are taking the absolute cake, moving forward. There's the mothership, but it's too late, as it's going to go down, and we now see NotNamedUser is here in time to move in onto Tortlemaster, and we might be seeing an opportunity for Game 3 to show up. Liberator now going to set up and try to attack these probes in the back. As what has he got? There is another Tempest here. Going to start raining in some fire. The Marines are going to move up and try to take an opportunity, but they got high ground advantage. They're not going to be able to see anything else, as these Stalkers up here might just have what it takes to take out a couple of these Marines. Now, meanwhile, we'll see back here, we have our first Thor coming through. These Marines are going to move up uncontested from Tortlemaster, but there are enough of these Stalkers now to cause a little bit of concern if you are NotNamedUser. He also needs to try and find this expansion here to really set some teeth into the Tortlemaster's economy. But that will do enough for now. Medevacs are going to be back here to try to heal things up, and he has to move this army in. He still has a larger army, but they're a little bit kind of delayed getting in here. As he moves back in general, this Thor is going to be a very important part of his army, and these Marines, this time around, they do have at least one upgrade under their belt, I think. Yeah, they got a weapons and armor upgrade through Forum, so that helps a lot going into those stalkers. So a little bit of breathing room here as Tortlemaster is going to have to try and rebuild this as quickly as he can. Now, is he going to be looking for a mothership? He is not at the moment, as he is simply going to work on trying to get his economy back in order. As you can see, he's a good 600 behind at the moment. Trying his best to catch up. He does throw down at least 3 more warp gates, which is good. Trying to get more Tempest up as well. Right now, honestly, I'd like to see... He doesn't even have... Oh, come on. I saw it earlier. Maybe it got destroyed, but he had a robotics bay. Really needs another robotics bay up. This would be a good opportunity to maybe get some Colossus in here. But we'll see exactly how it goes down. Fighting some debris is going to be NotNamedUser, as he is now going to start moving forward. Is he going to move over here to the left and see the 3rd expansion? That would be a critical situation for Tortlemaster if he does find this. Once again, hitting him hard in the economy. He is going to see it as he just barely moves up and in. Will the army of Tortlemaster move in? They will not. As that perhaps is a fairly smart move, as right now he is outgunned. But that is going to be huge. 17 probes lost, and this entire expansion will go down. 3rd expansion, by the way, is down for NotNamedUser, as he is simply going to move his army up and start moving him in. He's got a little bit of air support now. He's got a couple Liberators back that they kind of get melted before. He is going to scout out with that poor Marine who's just going to find death. And that is going to be... Now the initial fight is going to start here. Sieging up these tanks, or at least one of the tanks. I can't see him. He's somewhere in there, hidden in the... lost in the sauce for sure. But now he'll just slowly start sieging this down. Getting the vehicle plating and some infantry armor as well should help in all. These Tempests are going to try doing a number on these Liberators, but he's going to pull them back. Takes out the expansion yet again. And now he is going to move forward. Can he get vision on this high ground? He's got the Liberators up there now. Opportunity. They need to take out these probes as they just come flying by. Sucks them back into the base a little bit more. Opportunity, but here are the Thors. They are going to try and do the best they can to take out these Tempests up high, and they will take out one. Only one remaining, and there he goes. Going to go down, as that's going to be the army of Tortlemaster falling and crumbling right in front of him. NotNamedUser should try and focus down maybe this last Tempest. Get him taken out. And now move forward, as that will be NotNamedUser taking Game 2. Very exciting, as we now get the opportunity to see our first Game 3. So in the previous one, the reason Tortlemaster was able to win was because he got that mothership out, and the invisible units were just too much. NotNamedUser's army was wiped out. And now we see that NotNamedUser moving out even a little later than the previous game, gets there in time before the mothership is up and hits the army hard. So we'll be right back here in just a minute when we figure out what the next map is going to be between NotNamedUser and Tortlemaster. All right, we are getting things kicked off now in this third match between NotNamedUser and Tortlemaster. As we finish off this best of three with an exciting match in the previous two. First match was taken by Tortlemaster after he was able to get a critical mothership out, and NotNamedUser had no way of detecting those invisible units, so his army was destroyed and Tortlemaster moved in for the kill. But in the previous one, Tortlemaster wasn't able to get that mothership out in time, so NotNamedUser shows up with his army and takes out the initial army that Tortlemaster had, and by the time the mothership came out, it simply was met with a mess of Marines. So let's get things kicked off here in this Protoss versus Terran matchup. We've got up in the upper right-hand corner, Tortlemaster, our player from Louisville. Down in the lower left, we're going to have NotNamedUser. And of course, for some reason, I can't left-click, which is really weird. And we have NotNamedUser, our player from David City. There we are. So our initial start off is going to be about as usual. We're going to have this in early barracks going down, supply depot in the back, and we're going to defend that front line as if our lives depend on it. And it really does, Terran, it really does. Meanwhile, over here on the other side, got the Cybernetics Core going down. Gateway also going to get set up. Usually this initial setup is a little bit further forward, but he's going to opt to set it back this time. And now we have coming up here, second barracks going to go down. That Lone Reaper that always shows up. We'll keep track of him this time, as he is always sent on a suicide mission around the 3-minute mark. And it is a fun time. Supply depots also being set up. Very good expansions, both players, as it's going to be about on time for both of them. Saturation on the mains is going to be coming up here shortly. Gas down for the Protoss player, as he's opting for that aerial fight a lot, and so he needs this gas buildup, and he's doing a pretty good job of it in the previous games. Those Tempests were annoying, but when you have enough Marines to throw in there, it does get to be quite an issue. Refineries going down. First factory, of course, also going to pop out. Here is our Stargate going down as it did before. Saturation on the main, and we're going to have this second Nexus up quite shortly. Reaper is out. He is ready for action. If only he had some friends. He is oh so lonely. Oh, so lonely. We have this factory, and it will immediately start working on the reactor. And then it will be, of course, switching places with this starport as soon as it goes down. Do have the mules coming in as well to assist on that mineral count. Nexus working on those probes, trying to get a second saturated here quickly. Fleet beacon also going to go down, as we've got our initial armies coming through. Marines coming down, and he's working on the STEM research. Just about to finish here with this reactor and the factory. Gonna be switching up with the starport here in just a second. So I'll talk just a little bit of strategy. We got a little bit more coming through. The gateway warp gates are technology finished, as honestly, from Tortlemaster, he simply needs to just get that mothership out earlier. It's something that won him the game in the first one. And so if he can get that out early, he has an opportunity. I was almost really excited that we were going to have Void Rays, but here we are, just going to have more Tempest. Either way, he just needs to get that mothership out, and he'll have a really good chance, because NotNamedUser in the previous game still didn't get any sort of invisible detection units coming through. Starport going to come through. Here's our medevacs and the factory going down, which means we're going to have some tanks coming through real soon. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Reaper. We'll name him Billy. Billy is going to go on a mission. He's got a one-way ticket to the back line of Tortlemaster. Here he is. He's not going to go in quite yet, but he's ready. He's ready, but he is expected. Oh, the stalkers find him, and that is sad. He simply wanted to go on an adventure, and he got shut down. Beyond that, we are now going to see the buildup of armies, and no opportunity now for NotNamedUser to disrupt that backline of Tortlemaster. As once again, you run the same strategy twice in a row, you're going to be expecting it somewhere. First tanks are going to come through. Siege tanks is out as our third expansion is coming up for Tortlemaster. We now have a Tempest out. We will have our Immortals coming through as well. I'm still just waiting, as we really need to see that mothership come out. He's probably going to just throw in a couple more Stalkers here. We're going to see some Dark Templar coming through, taking advantage of the fact that NotNamedUser didn't get anything for invis detection in his previous 2 games. So that might be kind of an answer to an early game push here and stopping anything initially. We will see these. We got, just more Tempest. We're going to have the Immortals coming through as well. But once again, that mothership would be the biggest, most effective, I guess I should say, setup against this Terran invasion. So a couple more being built. The factory is just going to keep pushing out these tanks. And another thing, too, is if those tanks can get set up in siege mode, that's going to be important. Zealots here as well to maybe try and get into the back line, find those tanks early, help to take that out. Observer here as well, just in case. Going to be getting pretty good. It's got saturation on the first 2, so now a little bit behind will be NotNamedUser in that department. We can take a quick look at the economy since we're not seeing any armies move forward here. Is Tortlemaster does have a really, really good lead right now. Obviously, with the 3rd expansion coming up, and he's almost got that halfway through saturation. So, as you can see on the other side, we're going to have quite a bit being built up. First Thor going to come through. Probably going to be some more Thors coming out. As here we go, moving forward with his assault is NotNamedUser. I see some Dark Templar, but I am just not seeing any motherships. So we're going to have something real interesting happen here real soon. We'll see a Viking coming through, as he will now move in a little bit closer, just inching his way forward. Pylons are set up. Just see if there's any. There's really not, any initial warning, as the army value right now, army number, I guess, not value necessarily. NotNamedUser has the advantage. Does he have? I need to check and see. I don't. He doesn't. He's got the initial upgrade, at least for weaponry. And so he does have an upgrade onto these Marines beyond just the shields and the stem packs. So that should help a little bit when he comes in. Now the armies are going to meet up. We're going to see some Tempest going down, but also those Liberators are going to find an issue. Those Dark Templar are getting in there. They're going to cause quite a bit of damage, though. These Immortals in the back are also just going to start wailing away on these tanks. This Thor is all by himself. Now, what they can't do is take out these Liberators up high, and these Tempests are going to be doing their best to do so. Beautifully done there with the Dark Templar. Way to adjust to how he was going to take on that initial thing. Didn't even need that mothership to come through, as now he has an opportunity. he can move forward here and try and take this out. We'll see if anything is done. No towers and nothing. Doesn't even have... Okay, so he now has an orbital command post. That can help. That'll at least see those invisible units in a short range or something. Because he needs anything he can. But we're going to see how things build up now, as I'm sure a couple more Dark Templar are in the waiting. Stalkers. He's going to get his expansion saturated. He didn't get hit too hard here on his natural, so that's going to help. As you can see, the economy is going to stay pretty much even for him at the moment. We'll see if he gets another orbital command center, because I just don't see anything right now out of NotNamedUser that's going to be able to deal with those Dark Templar. He's going to get another Thor here and try and get things set up. On the opposing side, we're going to see a few more Immortals come through. He is starting to build up a couple Stalkers as well, but I mean, here they are. Dark Templar, they are going to be the main part of that army when they do finally invade, and they might just wait for another push out from the Terran player. Saturation on all three of the bases now, I would assume, for Tortlemaster. We're going to see near saturation here for NotNamedUser, and probably another expansion either to the left or the right for him here soon. I would imagine that Tortlemaster will expand, possibly expand over here if he has to. Maybe not leave anything open on this bot side. Moving out again is NotNamedUser. And he is going to have his fingers real fast on that orbital command center hotkey to have a chance at this fight, honestly. He maybe will be able to take out these Tempest and start working on the Stalkers, but as soon as these Dark Templar move in, which they are hanging out kind of far in the back right now, we will see the Photon Cannons. Oh man, that is a line of Photon Cannons, as here we go, NotNamedUser moving in, and right now he's going to have to deal with a whole lot coming through. That is going to be using to reveal the area, but nothing's there. Dark Templar are now moving in, as this is just going to become quite the slaughter, as Tortlemaster has now finished off the army once again of NotNamedUser. Even with these upgrades coming through, there's just nothing to counter these Dark Templar. And we're at 13 minutes. This might just be a long game just about to come through, as right now Tortlemaster isn't even trying to move up. And now we've got just a whole setup here. A lot of Tempest. Got enough of them, and he should just be able to move forward. But once again, opting to go down for some Photon Cannons. It helped him out on the defense last time, but see, there's needing another expansion here desperately is NotNamedUser. Tortlemaster will go for his fourth expansion now. Saturated on all fronts, and his economy is going to continue to grow. As far as gas is concerned, he's got that under control as well. I'm sort of waiting for a mothership to come out here at some point. He is going to run out on his main. Here's an expansion from NotNamedUser. Like I said, he's been just a step behind here in this game. In the previous one, he was able to keep up fairly well. He's going to have at least a decent-sized army, but once again, nothing to see those invisible units, and finally going to go down building the... Well, he's going to move the starport over, build another barracks there. Oh, nope, he'll build another one here. There it is. That's what we like to see. Building the Banshee, finally. Banshee is going to be able to detect those invisible units. Building a cloaking field himself, but we'll see if it's enough. As of right now, he's going to scout out and just see the absolute unit of photon cannons going down right now from Tortlemaster. Scans out everything just to know exactly what's going on, and I don't know where these probes are going. They're going on a wonderful little adventure here. I'm actually really intrigued about what they're about to do right now. A couple of them have split off to go over here to the other side. Maybe he's using them all to scout. I think that's all from his main. And yeah, they're going to start tickling these supply depots. Start tickling all of the SCVs over here on the backside. They'll just get destroyed there. And they will get totally cleaned up. I guess that's one way to just simply scout out what the enemy's up to. Once again, he is stuck very firmly inside his base, opting to not move out. Not sure how much of an issue that will be. However, he is allowing the army count simply to get even between himself and NotNamedUser now. Like I said, Banshees are here. They can now detect those Dark Templar, but they will have to lure out this army. I'm guessing that the entire play out of Tortlemaster is, if I've got enough front line of photon cannons, there's no way he can get back here. Yeah, Mothership is out, by the way. Glad to see it make a return. We'll see exactly what happens here as scans indicate that there is an expansion there. Good guess. And he will move to try and take out this expansion first. Will the army move? They are now reacting to the situation. Photon cannons on the front line just simply go bye-bye. Photon, and now the attacks will begin. But we can see these invisible units no longer have any effect, as that's going to be a lot of damage now coming through. Both sides clashing as the army of NotNamedUser is simply getting destroyed. They will be able to take out a couple of these Tempests, but it's not going to be enough as the Dark Templar have now shown up. They are just going to hack and slash their way through. And even though he came at him with everything he had, it isn't enough. Now we see Tortlemaster moving his forces forward. Here he goes. Moving forward, where's he going to find first? He should find at least this second expansion, but it looks like he's just going to run right by it. And, uh-oh. Supply depot is still retracted, but he's going to try and block off here. They just can't see this. Banshee is out. Now can see him, but nope. Bye-bye Banshee as he is gone. They will take out the first couple of things, and this should simply be the game, as these Dark Templar truly deserve the MVP award here in this one. And that will be the end, as Tortlemaster will be victorious, earning third place here in the state tournament. Stand by for awards ceremony on the main NSESA channel.